Ooh. Sorry, I just had to do that. Anyway, this is your boy Blue coming in from the Boo. I'm just rocking it at a coffee shop right now, getting ready to go to work. I just made a video and I didn't like it at all. So I'm gonna try to do it again. This is take two. We're gonna touch on a few things. We're gonna talk about a little bit of science, a little bit of behavioral analysis, and a whole bunch of stuff that I know nothing about. I know nothing about any of this stuff. But to me, science is nothing but an observation, and cause and effect rules everything. Therefore, this is true, this may be true. Therefore, that is true, this is probably true. If this happens, then that happens, then that means cause and effect. Cause and effect. And observation is everything. I mean, almost all scientific theories are based off observation of nature. Electricity was discovered by Benjamin Franklin through lightning. Lightning's a natural occurrence. Isaac Newton discovered gravity from the apple falling from the tree. He had made his theory about gravity. So, and as our instruments to increase our abilities to observe, increase our understanding of the world around us becomes better. But moving on, I just wanted to point out something that troubles me a little bit because it affected me directly. I don't really care for society's opinion. What society is pushing, it seems like it goes against nature. And I'm a pretty natural guy. I grew up outside. I worked in construction. My mom owned the flower shop. I was always in nature. My mom was a hard lady, but she was still a lady, and she expected me to act a certain way because that's what she expected me to act like. And I fell pretty short from that for a long time. And I'm hoping to one day make her proud. I don't know if she's proud or not, but hopefully one day she'll be proud. But anyway, moving on. There is something about gender roles. There is something about men and women and how we interact with each other. And the way we interact now, it doesn't seem right to me. And I want to blame social media, but it feels like there was a precursor to this. To me, it feels like a disease. When I was in Texas, even before I went to Texas, my sister and her kids trying to force this ideology on me a little bit. And I just kind of wasn't having it. And to be honest, I wasn't really paying attention. I didn't really care for anything. I was busy. I kept myself so busy that I had no time for anything. Even to ponder the thought, I didn't even have the time. Now I'm a little bit older. I went to Texas, and we have this group of people that just forcing an idea on you, and I just don't agree. But you know what? My biggest problem is I was gullible, and I just went with it. I went with it for a little while, and I'll be real. I felt horrible. It goes against my natural inclinations. And I believe most of us have a natural inclination to certain things, and there is a norm. There is a norm, and the norm is based off what is natural. And to me, I feel like I'm very, very natural, because what's normal to me and what society is saying is normal. It conflicts. And I went along with the crowd for a while. On the bright side, I had friends, I had people to talk to, all of that. On the downside, I felt horrible. Now, I'm going with my own natural inclinations. I found a way to find myself, and I'm still soul searching. I'm trying to find out what I am, what do I want to do, what am I good at, what am I not. And I'm pretty sure I found out what I'm not. And I'm not what society wants. And it cost me everything. I don't have friends anymore. I literally have no friends. I don't talk to nobody. I really don't. And these ideas in my head, they formulate on their own now because there's no outside influence. But there is something to the natural jungle. I mean, let's put it this way. You want to see something pretty real. I'm not suggesting you do this, especially if you're a younger person. Look at porn. There's a niche for everything. And what it seems like is society wants to take a niche and make it the norm. And look, I watched so much porn at one time. At one time I watched so much porn that it didn't even turn me on anymore. And some of it's just like entertainment. It's like some will make you, some will freak you out, some will like, holy crap, people do that? People do that? People get paid to do that? I wouldn't pay you to do that. You can't even pay me to do it. But there's niches in it, and it tailors to a certain crowd. And right now it seems like we're trying to take a niche and make it the norm, which to me, that is why people are becoming somewhat confused, is because this is not normal. This is not natural. I think normal and natural are two different things. What is natural should be normal. And to me, it doesn't feel natural. And I suggest that you don't watch porn. Don't watch porn. It will give you an unrealistic expectation of what a relationship should be. And, if you're expecting that right off the bat, you're going to be disappointed. I mean, you can build up in a relationship, you can build up to that kind of sexual prowess or what, but these people do this for a living. There's probably no feeling in that thing anymore, but these people do this for a living. You can build up to that sexual prowess in time if you're willing to do so, but if you're expecting that it's an unrealistic expectation. If you're expecting that right off the bat, you're probably going to be disappointed. And with that unrealistic expectation, you're probably not going to be happy. That happiness is perception. So we covered this before. But anyway, what society is telling people to do, it just doesn't seem right to me. It don't. Like, I'm going to talk about men for a minute. What are they telling men to do? They're telling men to literally bow. Honestly, men don't really bow. I tried it and it fell over. It doesn't feel right. It don't feel right. And it doesn't mean to be like overpowering, over-commandeering, the whole patriarchal system and all that crap. It doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that. Women have the most power. The hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. And you ask any father, the mother of their child is paramount. It's the queen. And the best part about the queen don't even have to yell. She yells through him. That's what's funny. And people don't understand it. Women's always had the power. Just in a different way. But then we're gonna move on to sexual attractiveness. Men like women for the most part. Men like women, women like men. And this is what I find observation-wise. What I find most attractive about a woman is the way they carry themselves. I mean, if you go on the CrossFit channel, there's these women deadlifting 175, 200 pounds. Overhead, full squat, all the way. I can't even squat that low, to be honest. Even with 100 pounds, I probably couldn't even squat that low and pull it off. These girls got broader shoulders than me, but when you see them walk around in public in their regular clothes and stuff like that, they still have this grace about them. And it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. It's the way they carry themselves. They're bigger, stronger than me. They probably got more muscle mass than I do. And that doesn't make them more manly. Just the way they carry themselves still maintains that womanly vibe. And I think the same for men. Well, I don't know what women like. I really don't. I haven't had a girlfriend in years. And I'm willing to wait because I'm very picky and I have standards now. Before I didn't. Now I do. But we're moving on a little bit here. I'm getting a little off subject. The way a man carries himself, I think, is very important. You stand up straight, have good manners, decent cleanliness, um, give a damn about your appearance a little bit. I think that's what women like. I personally think that's what women like. It doesn't matter if it doesn't really, not even about the physicalness. Of course, there's physical attraction, there's physical attraction on both sides, but an aura of somebody. Like I said, there's CrossFit girls that they have broad shoulders and they're muscular and stuff like that, but they still carry themselves with that grace, because that grace gives them that aura. And I think men can be is possibly the same. Because if we're, so they say we're all the same, then but maybe different attraction levels, or different, what attracts us is different. If we're all the same, then perhaps the way a man carries himself could be attractive to a woman. They stand up straight, have good manners, clean, even if they're not fit, just the way they conduct themselves, I think is important. I don't have the answers. I'm not a scientist. I never read a book, and I can already feel academia already yelling at me, saying, "What do you know? You never went to school. You never read a book." It's an observation, so deal with it. But this is super off the cuff. I'm gonna work on my production value. I'm very sorry, guys. I have to dig for my thoughts sometimes. We are taking a niche and making it a norm, and it's being forced, and I don't like it. I've been in a room where everyone's trying to convince you of something. The conversation is like a football. It gets passed around the table and you get skipped. Eventually you get the point. You're like, okay, I wasn't here to talk, guys. I was here to be put in my place, I guess. I get it. If there's anything I know how to do, I know how to read situations and people. So, with that said, we're making a niche normal. You know, I think we can make a niche acceptable, but we shouldn't make it normal. Like my famous aunties. My aunties that happen to be men. They knew they were gay. And you know, I wanted to understand more about it, so we had long talks. Long talks. These people were close to me. We had long talks, and they told me that, and I kind of understood it. They're the ones who taught me how to accept gay people at a young age. And we can learn to accept it, but let's not go against our natural inclinations. I learned to accept it. They're a niche, and this niche, you're gonna force the niche on the masses. I don't think it's right. You cannot tell me something is attractive. I'm sorry, it's not attractive to me. Why? Because it doesn't go to my natural inclination. I don't find it naturally attractive. And my natural inclinations is born in. I'm born this way. It's like how they were gay. Maybe they were born that way. Okay, I can accept that. But can you accept that my natural inclination doesn't find what they're trying to portray as attractive? You cannot tend to one and not tend to the other. If they're born gay, then I was born straight. And why are you gonna force something on me? Or if I was born liking womanly women, that's what I'm attracted to, then why can't you just let me be? It's what I find attractive. I was born that way. It's just a thought. It's something to chew on. This is the kind of stuff that goes through my head, and it's probably why I'm almost messed up. This is stuff that constantly pulls. That's why I pull so many videos. This is like a memoir. This channel is basically a look into my mind. This is my diary. What goes in my head. I'm not preaching. And it's just to get it off my chest. And to be honest, this is probably the best thing I ever did. Because one, now I have something to behold myself to, and two, I don't have to hold it inside no more. I can just put it out there for the world to see. Because I have to accept my life as an open book. So if my life is an open book, that at least let me narrate it. Anyway, thank you for following me. On the bright side, I have work. I have work pretty soon. I'm at Caribou Coffee, getting my coffee in. I spend a lot of money that I shouldn't have to spend on going out to eat and coffee, but I don't have a place to cook, so you know, it's a what you pay in rent, you save in food, and what you save in rent, you spend on food. That seems to be the observation on that side. Anyway, ciao inside.